Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about how my day 2 went. I want to talk a little bit about the league, what I think about it so far, and that's what we're actually going to go into right away. So I've been having a blast with my build, which we're going to go over in a second, the changes, but I just have to point out some glaring issues with 3.19, and it feels a little bit like Groundhog Day. It feels like we've been here before in 3.18. I have kind of a problem with GGG because it feels like they are repeating the same mistakes over and over again, namely Archnemesis, which we're going to talk about first. It is awful like it was in 3.18. I don't know if it's that as extreme. I did not like rage quit yet on day 1, but it was not very, very fun. And a lot of people who maybe started out with a build that isn't meta or that isn't as thoroughly planned out, that just want to play the game, which is, I think, most people in this game are not having a good time. This is something I just do not understand when it comes to them. They have this game that for 8 years straight, or 9 years even, at this point, has been just fast-paced, and they are now trying, for some reason, after they cultivated a following for that game, they're trying to severely make it slower, make it harder, and even though they tried to compensate for that by making it more rewarding, that doesn't make it more fun. I think there is things where this actually works. We're going to talk about this in the league mechanic, but I don't think Archnemesis in particular, this makes a ton of sense. So with 3.19, they have reintroduced 4 mod Archnemesis mobs, and they have once again gone back to crazy levels, and they are once again really, really hard to do. Now, my main problem with Archnemesis is not just the difficulty, but also that it just overshadows all the other league mechanics, everything that you do. Let me explain. So there was this great Reddit post that outlined this, but whenever you think about a league mechanic, before you thought about, okay, this is Breach, this is Legion, this is Blight, nowadays all you can think about is Archnemesis. No matter what you click on it, there's no distinguishing. It's literally, what are these mods? Oh, is an Archnemesis mob gonna jump on me again? Everything feels bland now. Everything feels like there's just this one, I don't know, Damocles sword over us all, and everything is just the same. I don't like it. I don't think it feels that good. And even if you compensate for more gear, which I've seen some weird loot explosions from Archnemesis, sure, most of them completely useless, but even if they were up to par, I just don't think this is that much fun. And 3.18 saw them immediately nerfing Archnemesis. They immediately understood what had to be done. 3.15, the same thing happened. Everything got so hard. Everybody hated it. 3.18, Sentinel, Archnemesis were out again. It was like, okay, we understand. We're gonna nerf, right? They understood, and now it's just back in full swing. And my question is just, what is happening? Who's over there at GGG making this decision? I don't understand, but that is my first critique of the league. Can we just remove this trash? Can we just move on? Like, after the nerfs in 3.18, it was fine. I think it was understood in the community that it was a lot better. It wasn't as overwhelming anymore. You could distinguish between Breach, Legion, and everything again. It wasn't just, oh, how many rares is the game going to throw at me? Now, at this point, I've outskilled Archnemesis mostly for normal maps. For harder stuff like Simulacrum, I don't even want to know how it's going to be in there. Or the league mechanic at a certain point with difficulty levels, it's going to be harder and harder. But so far, it has not been that much fun of a road, simply because Archnemesis is in the game and everything just felt like the same. But my second problem is the league mechanic feels unrewarding. I talked about this in the last video already. I think the league mechanic is something where if you make it more rewarding, you can actually make it fun. Because I think inherently it's fun to play around with the sport. It's fun to move around tiles. Now, obviously, the map itself is a little bit weird. It has a shitty layout. I get that completely. That's something that's going to be hard to fix right away, but I think by making it more rewarding, at least you could make it better. Because, for example, Expedition you could also call clunky, right? You have to move around explosives, and you have to actually place it, you have to think about it. But for a lot of people, it's still fun. You know why? Because you get buried in rewards. In this league, you don't. So I think, other than Archnemesis, the league mechanic can actually be saved by just giving more rewards. So let's hope that they put out a patch real soon. Number 3, Harvest is really bad now. Now with Harvest, I have 2 problems. Number 1, you literally have crops where you don't get any rewards. Like, people have been trying this, they've been scaling it, and they have been doing map after map after map. The amount of work it takes to get a craft like this it's insane. It is completely incomprehensible, right? way more annoying than even going on TFT and whispering somebody would be. There's no thought put into it anymore. They completely removed it. It is now basically just a dispensary, and you don't really get much. There's not much to craft for. You can get around 50 to 100 on average. Sometimes you have nothing. You just get absolutely nothing. It depends on how many blue mobs you get. As well as that, some of these prices are completely outrageous. Some of them just make absolutely no sense, like these exchanges here or facetors lenses. I mean, I'm just like baffled. And this just shows me one problem with GG where I'm not really sure if they have somebody there to actually look over this. I would love if they just brought like an expert in, like somebody who actually knows what they're doing, like for example, Spicy Sushi, to help them with the adjustment of these numbers. Because some of these just make absolutely no sense. I just do not understand. And they will be outpriced by some of the other options that are maybe not so badly priced. And then the whole price of a certain thing is going to revolve around the most expensive craft that now everybody's going to use. Like just the fact that Synthesize is as expensive as Fracture and Reforge Influence, stuff like that, right? It's going to completely bust the market. Some of these are not going to be, you're not going to be able to do these because they're just not worth for what they get into. I think these are pretty fairly costed overall, but the further you go down the list, the more you're just going to start scratching your head. So overall, I don't know what to say about Harvest. Overall, I will leave it to an expert like Spicy Sushi to talk about this more in depth because they're going to think about this more in depth. Overall, I'm skipping Harvests now. The new Harvest strat, if you were wondering, nowadays is called Black Thumb, and it's actually OP because not only do you get the upside, you also do not get baited into a Sacred Grove. Yeah, you're welcome. But going over the next point here, Harvest reeling bad now, and the last point here is Endgame loot seems to be broken right now. So I don't know what's going on right now, but Empyrean Gaming just brought out a new video where he talks about this a little bit more in detail, but basically Endgame loot seems to be in a very weird place. What you're seeing right here is 3.18 loot. And basically what they're doing is they're playing in a 6-man group. They're juicing as much as possible, investing absurd amounts of currency into the map. And they said that after 3.18, you have like apothecaries left and right, you had Dragon's Hearts, right? Absolute insane amounts of loot overall. Like they would sometimes even crash the game. It's that bad. And now in 3.19, they just don't get anything. It's like absolutely insane. So something's happening there. They don't know why, and they can't even sustain the currency for how much it costs them to run the map. And those are the same guys who would print mirrors last league by how much currency they would make. So it's just kind of concerning because you might think, oh, wow, boo-hoo, who cares about them? Well, I care about it because that means we're all also going to get fucked. If they get screwed this hard, think about how it's going to be for you when you do like Delhi Mirror with like, I don't know, the new Beyond, a lot of stuff like Blight, Breaches, Legion. You're going to have the same problem, but with, I don't know, 20 times less loot. So yeah, we don't know exactly what's going on there, but something seems to be bugged, and that is not something that should be happening at a release. It feels like beta again. Those are my 4 overarching problems. I really hope that I have better news in the coming days. Maybe they're going to update it. Maybe they're going to talk about a patch that's going to come soon. I'm hoping for it. But let's get a little bit into how I upgraded my build over the last 24 hours. So we've been absolutely blasting. We got from level 89 to 92 and a bit. We completed the Atlas. We are now 115 out of 115. We did the Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds and got the first 2 Void Stones. Now also something that people might be interested in, my Atlas passive tree. Basically, if you want to screenshot it, it's right here. But basically what changed is I went a little bit of heist here. So number 1, Harvest, as I said, is really, really bad. So I just respec out of it. Just forget about it. Don't even think about it. Respec out of this. And I went full all in on strong boxes. As I said, altars already. What else changed? I don't think that much. Yeah, we basically just went into strong boxes. We're also using rusted ambush scarabs, so we get even more. You can also use the map device if you have some currency lying around. Overall, it has been very, very worthwhile, but most of our money came from Expedition, and this is how we farmed a 6-link Covenant and a Darkscorn. So these are the 2 things we got today, and we just farmed for them forever. We did logbooks. We farmed logbooks in maps. I did not buy too many scarabs. Mostly, I was just working with the, I think like 34% chance. I actually forgot to reallocate this. I think 34% chance to just get Expedition naturally, and you just run map after map after map. We bought the Covenant for 5 Divines. We bought the Darkscorn for 2 Divines, and then we got really lucky with Covenant with the 6-link. I think it took us like 150 fusings, and then the Darkscorn, we wasted the rest of it. We just settled on a 5-link. Now, with Darkscorn also came that we needed some Chaos Res. We got a little bit here, and we turned around down some resistances to get like this cold and chaos res roll here and here, because once again, you really want that chaos res once Darkscorn is up, because now a portion of your physical damage is taken as chaos damage, and if you have negative chaos resistance, that would mean that you're actually going to take more damage than you did before. Now, the only thing I can tell you, if you still need to get Covenant, is number one, farm Expedition. While a lot of things have gotten weaker this patch, Expedition has stayed very, very strong. It is also one of the ways to get Divines now if you get lucky. But even just going there and getting small currency like Fusings, Chromatics, Jeweler Orbs. Fusings are actually worth currency again. There's a lot of these small currencies that actually sell pretty damn well. Don't underestimate that. Expedition is great. Same as Danik as well. He can sell you logbooks. So whenever you see them, you can sell the logbooks, you can run them yourselves. What I can tell you is focus on getting Covenant. There will be times where you will have 2 to 3 Divines in your stash, and you're always going to think with, what could I buy next? What could I buy next? But mostly, if you have everything else set up, don't buy your Darkscorn first. Don't buy your Despair Snakebites first or something if you want to do that. Don't upgrade your gear too much, not as much as you have to. You can buy your Rain of Splinters first, right? Rain of Splinters is really, really strong. You can get your Helm enchant first or your Anomalous Caustic Arrow. But don't spend your currency elsewhere. Focus on Covenant. Save up. This chest, even on a 5 link, more than doubled our damage. This chest is your ticket to Feared. That is how it is. You don't need anything else. Even Darkscorn is not that important. So Darkscorn prices shouldn't be that concerning. I think I bought mine for 2 Divines. It's actually gone down a little. I don't know what's going to happen, right? But overall, just make sure that you focus on getting this chest as soon as possible. And even if you can't, we have been running T16s very smooth on this build, even without. Now, one more thing that I want to address here is that Harvest Recolor has been removed completely. So there is now not an easy way to color the chest. So one of our very smart people in our chat, Bagan Hagrid, actually had the idea to color this differently. And I'm going to show you how he did it. Benching sockets be the cheapest way to get your colors? No, I don't think so. So you're saying I should go for 4 off colors in my 4 link. And after I have the 4 off colors, I do jewelers into 5 socket. And then the 6 socket can be blue, so it doesn't matter. That's actually not a bad idea. What does 5 socket cost? 70. That could be it. No, that's not a bad idea at all. Like you craft three sockets, right? You do 3 off color craft. Then you do 4 socket until you have your 4th off color. And then you do 5th socket until you have your 5th off color. Took 800 jewelers? Yeah, that should be the play then. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. Then I can just 6 link normally. If I do 3 greens here, I have a chance for a red or a green to both be a hit, right? So I start with 3 greens. It just costs me 20 chromes more. But it means these can both be a hit. 3 sockets. 3 green sockets. 4 sockets. Boom. 3 sockets. 4 sockets. 3 sockets. Alright. Now we need to hit exactly red. 70 each try. 5 sockets. Boom. Never lucky. 4 sockets. Boom. Oh! Yes! Yes! Got him. If my 5th socket was a green, I could do Varici and it would be fine 100% of the time. That is true as well. If I hit an off color now on the 6 socket, that's the same thing. The only thing I can't do is hit the red. But if I hit any other, it's fine. We're gonna see. If we actually break, then I'll show you. All right, 6 socket. Please don't be off color. Please don't be off. There's no way this is off color. It can't be off color. It can't be off color. There's no chance it's off color. There's no chance it's off color. There's no fucking chance it's off color. It's 134 int. We just had to fucking cry and beg to get these. Thank the Lord. But overall, I will say I did have a blast so far. But I can't say that's really because of the league, because I have been skipping it recently. It just wasn't rewarding enough. I've just been having a blast with this build. I like how it paid off now that I got my chase items. I have been absolutely breezing. This is actually way faster than EA. Obviously, EA is cheaper, but EA never gets to this speed on this damage. But as for GGG, I was just really, really disappointed that they've been making the same mistake again. Everything else, I think, could be fixed, but when it comes to Archnemesis, I'm just not sure they actually want to fix it. I thought they would want to fix it in 3.18, but now that they threw it out again with apparently, again, extensive testing, I just don't know what to think anymore. Is this how they want the game to be? If yes, I think this would be sad, but I think the league mechanic can be saved quite easily. I think Harvest can be saved. I don't know if they're going to do Harvest this league, but I think they will address at least the league mechanic. As for endgame loot, I think something's just broken. I really hope it's nothing overarching with like the Archnemesis changes, because then it's like easy to fix. But if it's hard to fix, this could be an absolute catastrophe. Overall, I'm holding my horses. GG hopefully fixes it. We've been beta testing it now for 2 days. So let's hope that they're taking the feedback maybe this time around. We'll see. Overall, tomorrow we're going to annihilate the game. I'm going to give you another update. And yeah, hope your guys' league start has been going well as well. And yeah, see you tomorrow. But that's it for the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe. As always, a huge shout out to my Twitch subscribers and my Patreons. I couldn't do stuff like this without you. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, absolute breeze. Ever since we got the Covenant, we were on a 5-link forever. We did T16s even without the Covenant. But now that we have it, oh boy, this build has been absolutely popping off. So let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope we're going to do Feared easily. I can't see how we would not. I just checked POB. We have a lot more damage than I had with EA when we did EA Feared. It's probably going to be a complete slaughter tomorrow. Let's hope for it. Maybe you guys want to check it out as well. Twitch.tv/Palsteron. But with that being said, since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.